Would God be considered a communist? Welcome back to the Theory Codex, where we explore the questions that don't always have clear answers, but deserve to be asked anyway. Today's question is a bold one that's probably stirred more than a few debates around dinner tables, pulpits, and classrooms. Would God be considered a communist? It sounds provocative, maybe even offensive, depending on your background. But if we push past the labels and look at the ideas underneath, this question opens the door to a much deeper conversation. Let's start with early Christianity. Right after Jesus' resurrection, his followers didn't go out and build empires or hoard wealth. Instead, they formed communities where people shared what they had, where no one was left behind. In Acts 2:44-45, it says, "All the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need." Now, if that sounds familiar, it's because that mirrors one of the core principles of communism. From each according to his ability, to each according to his need. Jesus spoke about the dangers of wealth, challenged the powerful, and consistently centered the poor and the marginalized. He lived humbly. He told others to give freely. He even said it would be easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God. From that perspective, some have argued that Jesus, and maybe even God, represents a kind of moral communism. Not the authoritarian regimes or the politics, but the core ethic of radical equality, shared resources, and collective care. But here's where it gets complicated. Communism as an ideology, especially in its historical form, rejects religion altogether. Karl Marx called religion the opium of the people. Communist regimes throughout history have often silenced religious institutions, viewing them as tools of oppression or distraction from revolution. So now we're stuck in a paradox. The values some associate with God, justice, compassion, communal living, align with some of communism's ideals. But the belief system of communism leaves no room for God at all. So, would God be considered a communist? Maybe not in the political sense, but it's fair to ask, which system, if any, reflects divine principles best? Is it communism's concern for the poor? Capitalism's emphasis on free will and personal responsibility? Or is God operating on a plane that transcends all of it? It's a question without a clean answer. But sometimes, those are the questions most worth sitting with. What do you think? Does God take sides in our human systems? Or is that something we project onto the divine? Let me know in the comments. I'd really love to hear your perspective on this one. And if you found this topic worth thinking about, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the strange, spiritual, and speculative. This is the Theory Codex. Thanks for watching and stay curious.